When I thought about what to do this week, I thought about, let's break out a white lightning here, the big ugly. Let's get a brisket on it, get going. To start this off, we've got ourselves a choice brisket, and I'm not going to bore you with a detailed trim on this because we're not doing a detailed trim on this. We're going to knock the hard fat off the top, the hard fat off the sides. We're going to trim up any small edges. Remember, we want this thing to cook really evenly, and we've got a lot of heat blasting from the bottom, so we're going to go fat side down, and we're going to keep a good layer of fat on the back side. About 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, a little more than normal, because again, it's blasting from the bottom up. We're going to keep the flavors simple on this as well, and it's going to turn out to be magnificent. We're going to be hitting it with some W sauce, that Leon Perran's Worcestershire sauce, and some Buc-ee's brisket rub. It's got turmeric in it, salt, pepper, garlic, all that wonderful stuff. It's going to give us great flavor and color on this brisket. We're going to hit the fat side first because that is going down. Little W sauce. Get it rubbed in there. You don't need a ton, but fat doesn't excrete moisture, so yes, a binder is good. Flip her over. Let's do the same thing again. Nice little coat of W sauce and a nice heavy coat of seasoning. Now we're going to set that to the side. We're going to let it sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes or so because we're about to put this fire together for our ugly drum smoker and get it lit up as those salts and delicious spices are soaking into that brisket. I found my favorite way to start a fire and maintain a fire is using B&B lump, and then in my fire basket, and on top of that throwing just a little bit of briquette coals, and then throwing about 3 to 4 chunks of my wood flavor profile. Now I used oak lump from B&B. I used charcoal briquettes. I think they're mesquite. The briquettes really don't matter. You're not getting that wood flavor from them, especially these little cheap ones that I've got. And then I used some barbecue chunks, the wood chunks. Today I'm using hickory. I think it burns a lot like pecan, but gives you a little bit more of a fruity note. Fill up our basket. This particular basket I got from udsparts.com. I only have to fill it about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way full to get 6 to 8 hours of cook time out of it. And I really don't think that this brisket's going to take any longer than that. In fact, I think it's going to stay right around 6 hours. To light this, I just crumble up a little bit of butcher paper, get it a nice soak of grapeseed oil, stick it up underneath those coals, light it with a lighter, and let it catch. Once that's caught, I lower it down into my drum smoker, leaving the lid and the grates off, the vents open, and let it burn for about 15 minutes. At that time, we'll come out, we'll adjust our intake and exhaust so we can hold a steady right around 300 degrees, 325. That's what we're shooting for at least. So right about now, our brisket has been sitting for about 30 minutes. Our charcoal's getting up to temperature. We go ahead and put the lid on it, and I like to adjust my intakes to about a finger width apart, and then my exhaust is all the way open. And we're just going to let that sit for another 20-30 minutes again to let those temps come up and level off. As soon as they do, we're going to throw our brisket on there, that side down, and we're not going to touch it at all for at least 2 hours. At 2 hour mark, we're going to spin it 180 degrees. I'll bring you back then. After 2 hours, it's starting to get amazing color. The aromas coming off of it is outstanding. It's excreting moisture. It's puffed up. That's a great thing about cooking right around 300 to 325 degrees. The brisket's going to puff up, and it's looking outstanding. So I'm going to spin it 180 degrees. I'm going to close the lid and not check on it for another hour, and we might go ahead and stick some probes in it at that time. We're another 2 hours in, and so altogether we're at 4 hours into this cook. This brisket's looking really good. The color's great. The bark's starting to form. Everything is doing what it's supposed to do. Inkbird sent me this wonderful thermometer to try out. Now, I've had it for a little over a month, and I want to make sure that I was able to use it pretty regularly and try it out and make sure that I put it through the, the whole rigmarole before I recommended it to you guys. I'm not getting paid for this. They're not giving me royalties or anything like that, but they did ask me to try it out and see what I thought. So I checked it out, and I got to say, it's pretty decent. The instruction manual that comes with it has a QR code that you can take a picture of with your phone. It's going to link you to their app. You just follow the instructions and set it up. Mine connects automatically now ever since I did that, and I got to say the range on it's pretty outstanding. So we're going to plug that in, open up our app, and just watch the fire and the brisket throughout this cook. Now, I am going to set a limit for the brisket for 205 degrees. Now, that doesn't mean that 205 degrees is the finish point for this brisket. We are cooking hot and fast, so we're going to take it up a little higher than normal. But at 205 degrees, I am going to start probing for probe tenderness and watching it go up. Once that hits 205 degrees and I check for probe tender, I'm going to let it ride for another 30 minutes. That's where we're at right now. It's been a total of 6 hours for this cook. I'm going to let this sit for about 30 minutes. Then I'm going to wrap it up in a towel and sit it on the counter. We're going to take it to my sister's house for our family supper tonight. I'll play a little music and let you watch as we slice it. Do a little bend test, a little bit of pull test. It is what it is, folks. You're going to enjoy this. This is a super simple recipe. An Ugly Drum smoker is made to be easy to use, user-friendly, and fuel-friendly. Like I said, I bought a $13 bag of B&B lump charcoal, the 20-pound bag. I may have used 8 to 9 pounds of it. I'm going to get a couple of cooks out of that whole bag. And then I spent $6 on a box of chunks. I'm going to get a ton of use of that because I only used 3 chunks on it. It's going to go a long ways. This is super simple, guys. Something you can do at home. You can even build this yourself. Let me know if you want me to build one of these on a video so that you can do it with me, or learn how to do it at home so that you can have an Ugly Drum smoker. You'll never be disappointed with these cookers. Once you learn how to use them, you'll cook everything on them, and they turn out amazing. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a thing. As my friend Cosmo would say, I love you guys. Drink more water.